In the chat, mGG is spouting that Maverick is the god of 4-gate. So I'll head into it with, down in the bottom left, on GSL Daybreak, we have the Protoss player from mGG, Maverick.
Indeed, and then in the top right-hand position of this map, we've got the blue QED Protoss. We've got QED's Reaper. Alright, so Maverick able to...
Who has personally received coaching from Fridge over the days, so let's see if some of Fridge's coaching can rub off on him tonight.
Definitely. I'd love to get some coaching from Fridge for my Protoss, but yeah, it's just going to come down to who's able to execute the builds more cleanly, I guess. And Maverick, in that last game, able to scrape up a win for mGG, as they're currently now 1-2-2. In the first week of the Fusion Slugs Clan Tournament. We are in match 1 between QED and mGG, and it is a best of 9.
Yeah, so we're in match 3. You said match 1, but match 3 of it. Oh, actually, sorry, I'm even wrong. It's match 4 because we've had 3 games. This is mGG has decided to throw out the first gold of the evening. So far tonight, it has just been silver players, I believe, the whole way through. No, silver and bronze players the whole way through. So the first gold has been revealed by mGG, and they have chosen to go with a Protoss, who quite promptly took out Ghosty with a 7-gate High Templar all-in, expand behind, very, very well executed build and very effective micro involved in it. Yeah. And now we're facing a PvP in which the openings are pretty much identical so far, just a later gas by Reaper, but not by much.
And I'm not sure if this is going to make much of a difference, as I'm no Protoss expert, but it looks like Reaper's actually saved an extra chrono boost. So he'll probably be, I don't know, guessing he'll probably be using that on the warp gate research, or maybe chrono boosting out an early zealot or something like that.
Quite possibly, but then again, that also puts him behind on well, he's actually needs to drop a pylon surely before he supply blocks himself, as there goes Reaper with the supply block.
Ooh, and that's going to hurt. That has got to hurt. He's spending a little too much time focusing on this probe and the Mavericks, and there we go, the pylon being thrown down.
Second gas from Maverick, so he might actually going for a Stalker in the 4-gate, like a delayed 4-gate, similar to how he did the all-in the last game, by getting that gas first and not having any other units on the field. Generally screams towards Stalkers to open with, and there comes the first one now.
Yeah, and this probe's been quite annoying in the base of Reaper, as he's not been able to get back into the base of Maverick to see what's exactly going on. He doesn't know that the second gas has completed and is being mined out of. So at the moment he's a little bit information-less, whilst Maverick's got all the cards in his hands, as he sees that Reaper's still on one base. Oh, still on one base, of course, but he's still on 1 gas. And an early robo.
Yes, Maverick's not going for the 4-gate. He's going to go for an early robo build, possibly for drops, maybe even a 4-gate drop, to be honest. Haven't seen that for a long time, but he could be going for the Warp Prism 4-gate into the back of the base to avoid the whole ramp shenanigans completely.
Yeah, unfortunately for Maverick though, he hasn't seen that the proxy pylon being thrown down for Reaper, whose warp gate technology and his 3rd gate's going to finish. I don't know where his 4th is at the moment. So that's all going to finish up, and it's going to be quite ugly unless he can find where that pylon is.
An observer coming out first from Maverick, which might reveal, or is he going to reveal this pylon by accident? He does, only because he was attacking that unit does Maverick realise the pylon's there and will now start attacking it, but he needs to get some more units out to attack it though, because there's still plenty of time for Reaper to warp in a whole range of units before that pylon goes down.
And the early observer making its way out now for Maverick, as he does throw down those 2 additional gates in the pylon as well.
Reaper's now pushing forward. Warp gate research has finished for Maverick though, so he will be able to hold that ramp, and there was a beautiful force field by Maverick.
There we go, around the pylon has been. Oh, the pylon didn't even get destroyed.
No, he warped in some stalkers to think that.
Nice. But it looks like these sentries are just going to be able to force field this ramp until the end of time at the moment. And with...
Yeah, Reaper can't get in there at the moment. And with 4 gates and a robo up, I wouldn't be surprised if I see a Warp Prism come out next from Maverick and try and get to the back of base. But Reaper's even going for an expansion behind this. Showing some depth to his builds now.
Yeah, I like that. Not being oh, it's only a 3 gate actually. Well, because he's not able to kind of push up, he knows that those sentries and probably that Immortal's going to be up there, I'm guessing, although he probably hasn't seen the robotics bay, but he sees the Immortal now. He's just going to take the chance to try and get ahead, as he's been able to deny this expansion for a while. And so hopefully he'll have a stronger mid-game than Maverick will.
The trick will be holding on to the early game, and this Observer, when it gets over there, will scout the expansion down, and Maverick may switch back into an all-in like he did last time. He'll have the minerals to do it, drop another couple of gateways, go 6-gate Immortal all-in. But as I said, that Warp Prism is being built. It's halfway done, and I suspected as much. It's going to be a Warp Prism 4-gate in, and it even looks like Maverick might be expanding behind it.
I think we might... Oh, while on those Observers just passed by each other, so we might have... Oh, we might see a very unlucky Observer for Maverick here, but it looks like he just slipped in behind Reaper's Observer. Quite unnoticed, so well done there.
And it will also get the scout of the expansion, so he'll see that his expansion is behind Reaper's and realise that he'll need to start either applying pressure, which he is now. He's got 3 Zealots and a Sentry loaded into that Warp Prism, and it is now heading across the map. At the same time, he's got his units moving slightly through the middle of the map just to apply some pressure, just to get noticed. Obviously wouldn't be expecting to do too much damage with 2 Stalkers, Sentry and Immortal, but enough to possibly cause all the units to get pulled from the back of Reaper's base.
Oh, no way. It looks like Reaper's actually blocked his probes in here with that Twilight Cancel, so he can't actually get any additional probes from his first Nexus either.
Oh no. Now that is just unfortunate.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm not sure how he's managed that one. I've never seen that before, but that is quite a clever trick. And this Warp Prism's coming in now. There's enough Stalkers here to deal with it though, if they get over there in a hurry.
Oh, nice force fields there to block off the escape route, but he's got to make sure he doesn't lose his Warp Prism.
He will lose a Warp Prism, but he will get a lot of probes in the process. He will be able to start putting probes back onto that mineral line now, as that path is not blocked from the Nexus. And hopefully his other Nexus can be rallied back to this base, to the mineral fields here. He might circumnavigate that problem for the short term. Blink has been started. This game is actually heading towards the middle game. Reaper's just made a few silly little mistakes, like the rally point with his probes, that's keeping him behind from keeping even with Maverick at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's keeping him even in supply, but unfortunately, if you look at the income tab, you'll see that he's a full 14 harvesters, 15 harvesters behind Maverick at the moment, which isn't something you want to be happening in a mirror matchup this early. So if this stretches out too long without Reaper being able to do any major damage, we could see a bit of a conundrum here, but it looks like he might be trying to some kind of blink play, which could bring him back into it theoretically.
Well, there's still not many units down from Maverick to deal with any kind of push. He's even loading the Warp Prism back up to do the same push again, and just to resupply with more Zealots. He really needs some more Immortals, to be honest. The Stalker count from Reaper is quite high, and if he gets those across the map now, he could do some damage. Unfortunately, though, this Warp Prism perhaps will probably end up doing a lot of damage, as these Stalkers will be caught out across the other side of the map and unable to deal with it.
There we go. I was just trying to find the workers kill tab. So there we go. So Maverick actually got 8 in that quick little exchange there, and good point out from the chat.
Well, it was a very beautifully done move.
Yeah, good point out from the chat that both players are starting to bank up quite a lot of gas. Maverick seems to be unable to spend his, and that Warp Prism now moving in.
This is going to end up being a form of base race if we're not careful here, because Reaper's going to lose a lot of probes to this while he's attacking the front.
He's got to move
but it looks like there might be just too many warp-ins from Maverick.
Yeah,
he needs to target fire that Immortal, and he's not doing it.
Yeah, unfortunately it looks like all the aggressive blink, but that's not going to be able to do much.
No, by the time he gets back to his base, he'll realise there's no probes left. and a GG from Reaper. So very nice mineral harass from Maverick. Really was what tipped this game over the edge, as the build from Reaper was a pretty good counter to where Maverick was headed originally. With only one Immortal out and not many units in front of his base, Reaper had a good chance of doing a lot of damage with the Blink Observer build, but that mineral harass was just too good from Ghost. The force fields, the probes killed from Maverick. God, I'm getting the names mixed up tonight. It was just too beautiful, too well done. And down spawning in the bottom right on Chikura's Plateau is the red Protoss Maverick from mGG. QED Bloodmist was a player who came to us from, used to be a member of Tor, went on hiatus, and when he came back he decided to join our ranks and has been an asset ever since, as we don't have many Terrans in our team. So he's definitely been a handy person to have in a lot of our clan wars and a lot of our matchups, because it gives us that extra depth we need in the Terran race.
Sure, there we go. I accidentally had my microphone muted in the stream. There we go, all fixed now. Alright.
We'll see where this build goes from here. It looks like Bloodmist will be walling off at the top of the ramp. And the pylon is going now for Maverick at the top of his ramp too. Yeah. Again, odd from Maverick. I don't normally see Protosses do this against Terran. Have pylons near the front of their bases, mainly due to the fact of early 2 racks pressures. When you can lose that pylon can be just so dangerous and annoying. But he's willing to go with this, and we'll see where it heads from here.
Definitely, indeed. Alright, so the probe for Maverick now going to sneak up here, and we'll have to see if it gets as much of a... Well, here we go, and here comes the aggression from that probe. Bloodmist immediately pulling the second SCV as he saw what happened in that game earlier tonight, where that probe was able to get the kill, become the hero of Ire.
I'm pretty sure he's probably seen it happen to him plenty of times on ladder 2, and is quite adept in making sure he deals with that probe straight away.
Yeah, no, definitely indeed. Alright, so the Chrono Boost being thrown down on the probes, or it was being thrown down on the probes to start off with, so it doesn't look like Maverick's going to be going for any super tight aggression here. And there we go, so no Chrono Boost going out for a Zealot yet.
No, but it does look like Bloodmist looks to expand behind this, so it will be a 1 racks expand. That probe didn't see the expansion, but I'm guessing he's probably expecting it by the fact there was no gas down, no other supply depot down. You know, obviously there was minerals being saved for something.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Alright, so yeah, so this expansion's gonna... Now, did Maverick manage to see it? That's the question I have at the moment, actually hitting it. Alright, so he hasn't seen it, so what's going through his mind at the moment is he's probably going to be going for a timing push or attack, depending on how all Inishing wants to get with it. That bunker's definitely going to help with Bloodmist, throwing it down preemptively, because it does look like there's going to be a few stalkers on the way with that warp gate technology coming. So he's going to be set up for a pretty nice defense here if any aggression comes Bloodmist's way.
Yeah, he's throwing on the bunker nice and early. He's protecting nicely. He's got those Marines continually production, and with the 2 extra racks going down, it's a very similar build to what Ghost was doing, but maybe it's executed a bit nicer. The difference in league being shown here, just the bit smoother execution from Bloodmist. He's not getting that. He's making sure that bunker is up nice and early. Other little factors like that.
Yeah, and it looks like this Stalker and this Probe are just going to move out and try and do the same kind of deal they did last game. The last game they played against a Terran, sorry. But the bunker's already going to be complete. The Stalker's going to have to make sure he doesn't lose any hull damage, and he doesn't. Nice pullback there.
Nice, this is exactly the same build for Maverick coming so far, except he's got a much earlier expansion than last time, mainly due to the fact that he got scouted a bit earlier. When I say much earlier, it's probably about a minute earlier, if that. It's just because of the spawn position and because of where the scouting happened. He found out a lot earlier that Bloodmist had that expansion down and is following suit quite nicely.
Yeah, definitely. So being on top of his mules, and these stalks are also going to come out. Ooh, and one loses a tad bit of health, but these Marines need to pull back. They're getting a bit bold. And will that
They're
one
getting a
make
bit
it?
bold.
There we go.
So no units died in that. Bit of hull damage to one stalker and one Marine in the red, bleeding heavily. But nice micro from both players there, avoiding any deaths so far. So it's still a bloodless game so far.
Yeah, and we're going to have to see what Maverick wants to kind of commit to at the moment. He's not being super decisive, and there goes another 3 gates. So it looks like we're going to be seeing a bit of a delayed 4 gates. That's how that expansion went.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's going for the same build.
Yeah, no, actually that makes a lot of sense. He does have, he has the gas ready at his disposal, and he'll be rallying over.
Bloodmist obviously didn't realise it wasn't cross spawns. It is just the version that was listed via the map pool, so it's not cross spawns. I'm guessing by the answer you can tell it's not.
Yeah. Being very nonchalant with their answers there, not to give anything away. And Bloodmist is actually...
Well, Bloodmist had checked up into that spawn.
Yeah, and Bloodmist is going to start accruing a bit of supply here as he's set himself up on those 2 bases at the moment. And so his SCV count's going to start to go up and up, and with those mules as well. There we go, the money scan finding where that base is for Maverick.
Yes, I want to see a tech going, and he's going to be identical build, 7 gate into a high Templar, all in repeatably. But Bloodmist has taken suit from the early game. You saw Maverick played. He's already got a 3rd bunker down. This whole going up to get rid of any observers that might come in. His only worry now is if he drops that twat, instead of getting the high Templar, goes for blink and goes to the high ground. That would be Bloodmist's major worry in this engagement now.
Yeah, definitely. So the unit's starting to pile up in the centre of the map here. We've got the 3 sentries have each got quite a few force fields on them, and then the zealots coming out as well. No upgrades for Maverick as of yet in relation to his units, and +1 attack being about halfway complete for Bloodmist as well.
He also has stim done, so he's got that advantage already. I said it's very similar to build to what Ghost was trying to do against Maverick in their matchup. Just very, very clean. Hasn't missed a beat so far, and has all the defense up and ready for when Maverick tries his push. So it'll just come down to micro and how well the force fields go, and whether or not the SCVs are pulled in time.
Yeah, just rearranging his army just to make sure that the zealots are going to be taking the damage. There we go, so they're running up now. And those 3 bunkers he can need, all those Marines and waters back in, very nicely done. So the force fields are actually being a bit counterproductive here for Maverick. He loses quite a few zealots in that engagement.
They did get a fair few Marines and Marauders in exchange, so it was a fairly even exchange between both the players there. No real major advantage, and they'll reset and try again. The warp gate being very handy for Maverick right now, as he can replenish a lot quicker than Bloodmist can. But the Medivacs popping means that now Bloodmist can stim without too much of a worry.
Yeah, and Bloodmist throwing down the scan in the centre of Maverick's base, seeing exactly what he's up against. Even forcing a few warp-ins from Maverick back at his main base. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not from Bloodmist, but it seems to have...
I'd say he got scared of a drop.
Yeah, that makes sense. So this factory is probably not even going to make it anywhere, so if I was him, I'd probably be rallying it, trying to get as much information inside the base as well. Oh, there we go, see you later.
Double Forge and Twilight down from Maverick now, and the 3rd, so it is a very similar build to last time. Difference being this time he hasn't done that extra damage he expected to do. Is Bloodmist going to walk right past this pylon without killing it? He might, he's left 1 unit there to kill it. No, he's coming back now.
Slight supply block before he gets on supply block, there we go. And yeah, at this stage of the game, there is starting to be a bit of a supply gap, and losing this pile is going to be quite bad for Maverick, as he isn't. There we go, so he starts producing other ones. He's going to be slightly handicapped at the moment, whilst his upgrades start churning over.
His whole army is up protecting that 3rd at the moment. Not necessarily a wise idea, as it gives a chance for Bloodmist to do a drop against what minimal units he has protecting him here, which is not that many. But Bloodmist is actually going to scout that 3rd. It's not a good idea from Bloodmist. He's going to push up straight into a bunch of sentries and zealots who just about have charge finished. when that charge finishes, it's going to be very, very dangerous. He needs to keep...
Nice force field.
Oh no, beautiful force fields catch a lot of the units there. He won't even be firing, he needs to get out of there, and he's even doing lifting up maneuvers.
Although he's held on.
I think Bloodmist might just have enough.
Sentry's going down, so no additional.
But the reinforcing zealots. Beautiful stutter step in there from Bloodmist, but the zealots are still going to force them back and out.
Alright, so he's probably even going to end up.
But Maverick might have to give up this third.
Yeah, and that's going to hurt him definitely. Look at the supply gap now. He's
Definitely.
60. Going on actually good. Yep, so he's a full 50, 60 behind now. He's going to need to turn
Both
around.
players are at even upgrades though. So losing this third just sets the game back at even. There's no real advantage either way. The unit count though is starting to get quite heavy in Bloodmist's favour, and he hasn't replenished his units at all. Like, they're all still back at his base, so he's really using this as kind of like a strike force and really trading effectively, taking out a lot of units for what small force he has left. It's a very wise move, but I think Maverick has got the scent of this happening and is bringing his units back. No, he's actually going to push forward them. It's a bad idea. Bloodmist is coming in with a drop, with just enough units that could cause a fair bit of damage to the back of Maverick's base, depending on where he decides to go. Maverick is falling back now.
Yeah, it looks like Bloodmist is actually going to catch him between a rock and a hard place, pushing out with his secondary main force as well. So he's going to try and bait the units out in one direction and then just slam in the other one.
Yes, and by having that tower, he can see that the expansion now is going down here. So he's aware that Maverick is still trying to expand behind this, and Maverick's just in trouble. He's scouting left, right, and centre to find what's going on. The problem with this build, he has no observers out. He can't find anything going on.
Yeah, and there we go.
Denied again from Bloodmist. And the drop going in the main as well. Bloodmist is going to fall back with these units. These zealots are going to follow, but he doesn't care. As he can get back to his bunkers, he should be quite safe to deal with this.
Yeah, and he's going to wreak havoc in the base of Maverick at the moment. Nothing left to kind of defend this. And yeah, no, with the high ground position in those bunkers, he's going to be able to easily hold this.
Those medivacs are going to keep killing those units. They're targeting down the forges now, preventing the upgrades, which are giving Maverick that bit of advantage. And getting rid of the Twilight. A bit late now, though. The Twilight's done its job. I don't think he had Blink yet, so yeah, it will avoid the Stalkers getting Blink. Now he needs to run away with these medivacs. It is target firing the one without anyone in it, though, so medivacs do escape. Bloodmist has regathered his force. He hasn't overextended himself at all, which is the best bit. He could have tried to force an engagement there with his main force against the main force of Maverick, decided there was too many zealots and fell back to the high ground to defend himself, which was a very, very wise manoeuvre. He did lose a few units on the way back to his base, but in the long term that worked out much more beneficial to him, as he was able to get that third up and running without any trouble and really get his economy boosting, which gives him the 100 supply lead he has.
Yeah, no, he's in quite a commanding position, and I think he'd need Squirtle-esque storms to be able to kind of clutch your way back into this from Maverick, but he's going to try and make it work as he's rebuilding his Twilight and building, I think that might be his first robo of the game. So
yes, see, the only problem with Maverick's build is without having those observers, he had no idea where Bloodmist's army was during that whole engagement. He had his forces running around in circles trying to work out where to go to defend. Bloodmist had the brain of the map.
Yeah, and he's got, I'm not sure if they're there, but he's got ghosts working in this army. Oh, and he's going to be able to catch these Templar before they're able to get off their storms. That's quite...
beautiful work. Maverick was caught off guard there. Did not have his the Templars in his range of view, and now he's lost his natural. And I'd say he's probably going to lose the game from here. He just can't get enough units out. There's no more mining going on. He has got a bit of a bank, but these zealots are in a choke now, which is the worst place he wants zealots to be. And the GG from Maverick. So Bloodmist has pulled it back, showing how his PvP has definitely improved. State now it's quite dangerous. He even had a force going up near the end, so he was not even overly committing to this force. I'm very impressed with that game, and Maverick falls, which puts up to mGG to see who they'll send out next.